Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fancaste. I'm your director tonight, brainmuffing the lifting nerd. And with me on the line is Kendo Slice.
Kendo Slice here, ready to rock. Let's do this.
Also, all the way from New York, via New York, it's Liquid Metal Pro.
Well, for the once in their life, in a couple of years, Nintendo actually got me to get off my couch for once. Good job, Nintendo.
All right.
There you go.
Almost had something clever to say there, and then it escaped my old brain. As is our wont, it's the review of...
Well, I was trying to go for either clever, offensive, or just say something witty, and I honestly felt it already.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he was just taken over by an android.
Yeah, something. So, as is our wont, it's the episode 76 and all supporting videos, direct live from the World Class Bullshitters channel on YouTube. It's the WCBS Fancaste review. And I already said who I am. So, if I can find my list, we'll actually start.
Yes, we have you guys covered from June 9th through June 15th of this week. So from 6/9 to 6/15. So
the first thing we want to talk about, sorry man, is the absolute disappointment from Nick and Jeff, and it came all over their faces at midnight, or whatever that movie was called.
Yes, it was a movie that they were very, very looking forward to because they thought it was going to be something awesome and great, and it turns out that they were just extremely disappointed, hated it. In fact, they hated it to the point where they went home, immediately recorded, called Dion during the review to tell him how bad it was, and they just were very upset, did not think it was very good. Their biggest complaint was that there was absolutely no payoff to the movie. Like, you sat there, you went through all this stuff, and it was just like nothing. No payoff, no big reveal, all that stuff. And so they did not like it when it came on their face at night.
Right. They even labeled it the worst movie ever.
Yeah. Jeff said he would rather watch The Force Awakens instead of watching It Came at Night again. So that should tell you everything you need to know about how bad he thinks that movie is.
Right. Now, Nick even made comments about it
Good
wanting to be
God
an art house
Almighty.
film. And he's like, no, you don't get to play that card. I mean, I understand the payoff frustration. It sounded like it just kind of deflated at the end. Just went, boom. It's all right, man. We'll work through your Skype issues.
God damn you, Skype!
So,
Maybe stop internet, and I should start siphoning gas instead.
Oh, now it sounds like he's on an AM radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're finally coming for me.
INS is at the door.
Yeah, Amigra!
Quick, let me get some powder. I'm gonna bleach my skin white.
He's going to be like in 101 Dalmatians when they rolled around in the ashes to pass themselves off as Labradors. Except for it's going to be the opposite. He's going to roll around in flour to pass himself off as a normal person.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I got the idea from somebody who killed 3 people last week. So,
oh, nice. Good for him.
Thank you, Mr. Killer Man.
So, any other on that particular one? I know that a lot of the comments were pretty bad.
It's like the worst. I don't.
They got.
I don't understand why this.
They got the comment section. Some of the people were like, "Okay, it's good that you put this out there. You know, it's nice to have an opinion on it." And then for the most part, a lot of the comments were just raining shit on them. And it's a thing that we discussed before about the groupthink and how you hear that something goes against what you think it should be, so you immediately go into attack mode. And that was apparently the theme of a lot of their videos for the week, where people not really paying attention or doing anything about it or having anything other than I hate the person whose opinion is different than mine and jumped all over them. But yeah, there was a lot of people in the comment section just raining shit all over them.
That was crazy you mentioned that with the whole groupthink thing, because really one of the things that just kind of helped that whole groupthink mentality just flourish in that comment section was the fact that I believe we mentioned this last time. Adam from YourMovieSucks.org, his channel, he gave a more favorable review towards it. And again, I've said before, I have my agreements, disagreements with him. He gave a more favorable review, and that's fine, that's fair, whatever. But like, you could sense like his fans took it almost as if this was a personal attack against him. You would talk about groupthink.
Yeah.
This was
We live in a society where everyone is emotionally invested in everything and cannot handle any type of dissension or opposition, and they immediately have to go on an attack.
Yeah. It was. I even put in the comment section, hey, if you guys really want to know, was what it sounded like. A lot of the comments were coming from people who didn't know Jeff and Nick very well, but hadn't listened to anything else. It's like, go listen to their other reviews. Go listen to Schlocktoberfest from last year and understand how much these two guys like horror movies, and then you may start to begin to realize just how disappointed they were.
Well, that one takes too much effort.
Seriously.
Two, they see the title, they click the title because the title is something that blows their mind. They're like, worst movie ever. Oh my God, I thought this was great. And so they don't bother to look into anything. They just go straight on the attack, and they have to just like spew all their anger at the people making the video because they can't handle somebody saying that something they like wasn't good.
Yep.
That's really what it boiled down to. It's like, you didn't like that? Well, fuck you, you suck. It's not, okay, well, why didn't you like it? It's just straight out, you're stupid, blah, 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 blah. We're going to call you names. I think we might have lost the Metal Pro Man again.
Well, let's wait for his turtle to disappear. Too many people on his wireless.
Could be. That's what happens when you have a house full of people, like 30 deep, sitting around one phone that's got a hotspot. I'm just assuming based on what stereotypes are out there.
Well, he said that previously in the evening, sometimes even just where his internet service provider things get slow just from it. It's like it gets congested in his area.
Well, there is like something like 58 billion people living in that city.
Yeah. Well, and if he's on a cable modem type service, then however long that their run is, the more people get on it, the more latency increases. All right, well, let's we'll continue on, and if he joins in, great.
As I say, this would be really great radio if we just sit here in silence and wait for him.
No, I can always edit that out. It'd be like last time when my doorbell rang.
So
let's go on to the next topic. And speaking of groupthink, and this was the Black Panther trailer, and I guess you were coughing, so that's why I see you.
Yeah.
So the Black Panther trailer dropped, and my immediate reaction was, "Oh, this almost looks pretty cool." And as we've discussed before, I'm in a very bit deep burnout on superheroes. Anyway, I didn't think a Black Panther movie was necessary. I knew enough about him from the Marvel movies that I already saw, but hey, that's fine. Until that stupid stunt where he jumps off the car and all physics goes out the window and the lighting's wrong and the textures are wrong, and I said, nah. So the end of the trailer was a big for me. So apparently, for the guys too, they were like, oh, this looks almost halfway decent, and no, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I saw it. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, another movie. But I'm also in the Marvel fatigue mode. It's just a case of way too much over an extended period of time, and it's been that way for a while. But yeah, by the end of the trailer, I was just like, all right, well, maybe I'll watch it one day if it's on TV. I'm not real pumped for it. It's not nothing against the character, the ethnicity of said character, anything like that. It's just like, all right, okay, whatever. It looks like it might be okay, but I wasn't all that pumped up for it. But it's just, I think it's a case of a lot of it's superhero fatigue. A lot of it could be that people just don't like Michael B. Jordan, which apparently Jeff hates Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. And it was fun hearing him talk about how he sucked in all these movies. He left out the fact that Michael B. Jordan got his start on the first season of The Wire, where you get to watch him be killed by his friends.
All right, sorry about that.
All right, he's back.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah,
It's all right, man. We're talking about the Black Panther video. So, have you seen the trailer, the teaser trailer?
Yeah. Damn, it's been kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my computer because it's just been giving out on me lately. Like I said, it's not the best computer out there, but should be able to do every basic things just fine. I don't know what the hell happened there.
All right. So the Black Panther trailer. Got any thoughts? Haven't seen it. Don't care. Think it's great. Think it sucks.
I thought it was just that it's still too early to tell. Ultimately, what I liked about the trailer was just the fact that we're getting a Black Panther movie. So I thought, hey, this could be cool. This could be interesting and whatnot.
Right.
So why not? As far as what I didn't like about it, I know people in that comment section went crazy. It's just a teaser. It's just a teaser. Well, nuts. Whether it's a teaser trailer or not, it's supposed to kind of entice you to want to watch the movie.
Right.
I didn't really understand what was going on. Like, it kind of felt like I didn't really know what to make of it. Like, what's the story behind this? All I understood was Wakanda and something about gang warfare, maybe? I don't know. Like, I didn't even understand what was going on. Yeah. So that was basically my complaint with this. I'm like, hopefully the next trailer that releases fixes all those problems.
Right. Well, I kind of took it as this was supposed to be a movie. You know, he's fighting against white exploitation of Africa, and which I thought was kind of funny because essentially it'd be white exploitation in Hollywood of a black superhero.
Didn't they already do something like that before? Wasn't that what Roots was about?
It's a little bit different. So, but I tell you what, one thing that I saw a comment on somewhere, I don't remember where, and I completely missed it. But in the interrogation scene, in the beginning of that trailer, it's Andy Serkis is one of the guys, and the guy that plays the young Bilbo in the Hobbit movies. So you have Gollum and Bilbo in the same scene. So I was like, oh, that's Andy Serkis. Somebody said that, and I thought, that's not him. So I went and looked it up. Sure enough, yep, it's him. So that was pretty cool. Pretty interesting.
Well, give something for all those fucking loader people to jerk it to.
I tell you what, I still haven't seen the Hobbit movies, and I love the Lord of the Rings books. So, you know, you can...
I have not. I haven't seen the Hobbit movies, and I won't watch Lord of the Rings movies. I tried watching the first one in college because my roommate was all like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I was like, this is like 4 hours of people just sitting around talking and walking around. This is... I mean, I'm okay with a dialogue movie. I love 12 Angry Men. I think that's one of the greatest movies ever. That's just 12 dudes sitting around talking in a room. But no, the Lord of the Rings, I was just like, this sucks. I can't do this. And then I tried watching the next one. It was the same thing. Lots of walking, and eventually you get a fight when they throw that midget guy around. That's cool.
Yeah.
All I remember from Lord of the Rings was that scene from
dwarf will not be tossed.
We have an entire sport dedicated to tossing dwarfs.
On ESPN 8, the old show.
I just can't get enough.
Yeah.
I want to see that jet ski thing. That the squirrel jet ski racers. That was hilarious. I wanted to see that as a sport.
I'd watch squirrels jet skiing.
Go, checkers, go!
I mean,
no, it's in the turbine.
I mean, it'd be great. You could have squirrels jet skiing, squirrels doing all stuff, and it could just be like Squirrel Olympics. Go nuts. And I mean, there you go. It writes itself.
Oh
my goodness. Oh, he's licking his nuts. Oh, wait a minute.
I think you're allowed to hit such another squirrel's nuts.
On that video, too, we had Hillary making it was an interesting discussion, listening to him like, kind of like it, and then they watch a little bit more, and then they watch it in slow-mo, and then they pay attention, and then it's like, yeah, this is kind of, but I'm with you guys. Yes, it's a teaser, and if it's going to tease us, it makes us want to go, oh, I can't wait for the full trailer. And I'm kind of like, it comes out, I'll watch it maybe if I have nothing else to do for 2.5 minutes. So.
See, the thing is with the teaser trailer, right? Like I know earlier I made a joke about how Nintendo finally got me to get off the couch. after like I don't know how many years has been. What 3 years maybe since his last good E3 since they made a smart business decision. And the reason why I said that was because I was watching E3 this past week, and well, long story short, it was a bit of a shit show. But Nintendo really put out stuff out there that made you want to get a Switch. And when they put out the essentially the E3 trailer for Super Mario Odyssey, right? I was looking at that like, holy shit, this thing is amazing. I gotta try this out. And one of the benefits of living in New York City is that we have the Nintendo store here in the city. So they got the demos for all those E3 games. And I went to play that Mario game. I fell in love with it. And I'm like, see, you want to talk about a teaser trailer. The teaser trailer should do just that. It should entice you to want to get more invested or more invested in the product. Just because it's a teaser doesn't necessarily mean that it can get away with not not getting the point across. If a trailer for a video game can make me do that to want to go and try its demo out, surely a teaser trailer should make me say, you know what, I want to see this movie, not just look forward to the next trailer.
Well, I know. When the teaser trailer for Breath of the Wild came out, man, I was walking around with a full chub for at least a week. I was like, I cannot wait to get my hands on this thing. And then play the game.
We don't want to know that, Ken. Keep that to yourself.
I have the game. I just don't have a Switch.
What you get your hands on, yeah, we don't necessarily need to know what you put your hands on.
I'm willing to divulge information. I'm not some kind of shut-up book.
Well, I don't know. So, again, we had more fallout from that. I don't know. To me, again, it was people... It just seemed like people who didn't know who WCBS was they do not know who Jeff and Dion and Nick or Hillary are. Let's see that was all who was on that the review, right?
Yeah, that was.
Nick,
and it's so much. What I thought was so stupid is okay. Again, here it is in 2017 America, and if you say something bad, I didn't even know it was a black movie. I mean, I know there was black actors, but apparently there's a black director or writer or something else. If there are, I had no idea. So when Jeff put out his response video a few days later, I was like, what the heck is he talking about? Because I watched the review thing early before all that crap hit the comment section. So I had to go back and listen to look at the comment section. I'm like, what are these people? What the heck? Just because these guys don't talk like they swallowed Ebonics dictionary?
Wow.
It's like, well, he lives in Detroit. It's like, who cares? I don't care if they were 4 white people talking about the movie. They could have been some rednecks from the deep south. They didn't say anything offensive or other than Jeff's hatred for one of the actors. It wasn't like they were, at least as far as I'm concerned, weren't offensive. But the fact that they said something negative about a so-called black film is what a lot of people were getting all their panties in a wad. So much so that he had to basically say, it's not racist to criticize the movie, which he's right. It isn't.
Which led to him getting more hateful comments, accusing him of being a racist and a white boy trapped in his bubble. And it's like, dude, not even close. Not even close. My favorite comment was the guy that was like, you guys need to go out and leave your safe little white neighborhoods or something like that and go out and meet some real black people. It's like, oh,
I saw that
dude,
one. That one was like pissed off at. I think because he said something about go to Brooklyn or something. I was like, nigga, what does Brooklyn have to do with it? In my mind, I was like, why are you dragging my hometown into this? Why?
Yeah, it was just kind of like, dude, clear. And there was another part where he even said something about, college, that there's black folks that are college educated, well spoken. I'm like, yes, you're talking about several of them on this review thing that you're claiming aren't.
Right.
He might have just been a troll.
Argument on that alone, just with life experience, I could counter argument that comment alone. I would have gladly told this guy, whatever his case may be, to go screw yourself, because I could tell you for one thing, living in New York City, you got people of all kinds from all backgrounds. So this whole nonsense that just because you should go out there and meet people, and I think I remember responding to that, and I gotta say this to you, Jeff, if you're listening. thank you. In a way, thank you for putting that video because you kind of allowed me to get my inner troll out there. And I had a little bit of fun with some of those comments. And needless to say, some of the responses I got were hilarious.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy who's like just facts, like trying to prove something about melanin in the skin and everything. And after a while, I was like hinting at him, like, guy, I'm just fucking with you. And he like really still started going into it, like trying to like go give me research and everything. So I'm like, all right, I'll play along. Let me give you something. And like the response that he gave me immediately proved to me that it was more about him trying to get his agenda across. So that's how I knew this guy was like an SJW. Like he was just social justice. I could just tell by some of the comments and some of the language that was used. Like, I think somebody said something about institutionalized racism or something like that. I don't remember if you guys saw that comment.
That smells familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. So something that basically comes out of the group think tank of every popular SJW that has been out there. I'm not gonna name names, mostly because I can't name them all. There's just too goddamn many. But I had some fun with that. But all those comments just like were really people trying to get this whole social justice agenda across. Like this was the channel that was the video they were picking at to all of a sudden make it a whole agenda thing. And
Yep.
needless to say, all it really proved in the end was that they didn't listen to, again, like Brian says, like they weren't even bothering to listen to not only to the video, but to anything else that was said that entire night.
Right.
No, it was very obvious that they clearly saw criticizing the Black Panther film is not racism, and immediately just went click the link, pause video. I got to type my comment.
Yeah. Well, I even asked how many people. I got the impression that many of the people that were responding to this one hadn't heard the other one where they talked about for 40 minutes or something about the trailer. It wasn't like it was 2 or 3 seconds, 2 or 3 minutes talking about the teaser trailer. They went into a lot of depth of all the different things that were kind of great and things that weren't so great. And then I start reading these comments and I'm like, so we have the feedback in the comment section from It Comes at Midnight or Comes at Night or whatever that movie is, how much they hated it. So they have no background for that. So they don't understand how enthusiastic Jeff and Nick are for horror movies. And then this comment section was like they hadn't even bothered to listen to the original thing. And it's when you look at, I clicked on a lot of the recommended videos for that Black Panther reaction. It seems to be the big thing on YouTube now is the reaction videos. And everybody, it's like you could have recorded one of them and played that audio over every single one of them. It was like they all had the exact same reaction. It's like, oh, I gotta have a reaction video so I can do whoa! It's the greatest thing ever since ever. Nothing was original. It was all I gotta copy everybody else so I can get likes. Now the criticizing the Black Panther trailer is not a racist video actually has 3 more dislikes than likes. It's 112 to 115. So listeners, if you're out there and you have not clicked the like button on that one, just go and click it just because.
Yes. Yeah. See, I don't just like I said, it's just in case people would go and do that, like coming up, yelling at you. Oh, you're just a privileged white male. And I'm like, why are you saying that like it's a bad thing?
Hey, like I've said before, I wish I could take my privilege to the bank.
Yeah. I'm so privileged living in my 2-bedroom house in the middle of nowhere.
So go ahead, Metal Pro, man. I cut you off.
Like to be privileged.
I'm sorry. It's just that when you said react videos, immediately I was just like, I went into like one of those non-flashbacks where it's like I just can't stand react videos. I am sick and tired of them.
Yeah. And they're all alike, and it's all, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Every one of them. Like,
see, because the thing is about these react videos,
sound like a turkey.
They are essentially reviews. And they're essentially, in a sense, kind of a review. They're kind of an opinion, essentially. My problem with it is that they've gone too far to the point, like, everything has to be this overreaction in front of a camera or this stupid, dumb face that they put. Like, oh my god! And, like, they do, like, the dumbest facial expressions. I'm like, I don't think some of these people ever got laid, because I could never imagine pulling off a facial expression like that in their lives.
Well, maybe that's how they learned how to pull those facial expressions.
Well,
Maybe
they paused Pornhub long enough to do a reaction video.
We should do reaction videos to Pornhub videos. That would be good.
Actually, I would, after a while, I'd be like, 5 minutes in. All right, this scene bores me. Let's move on to the next video.
Right.
You'd be like,
well, there's some
30 seconds later, I'd just be like, all right, guys, I'm done. I don't know what you guys are going to do.
There's some porn star that they talk about all the time. I can't remember her name, and I've looked her up, and I'm like, they like her? Oh, she's so skinny. But, yeah, I actually like Christopher Littleton's comments on that video. So he has, I agree with Jeff, even though the trailer had its moments, the last shot of him jumping on another car was bad CG and Marvel fatigue starting to kick in. He also had, I hate politics when it comes to superheroes. Keep it out of my comics. This is why Marvel comics are shit nowadays. I agree with both his comments.
I would be okay with the politics in the comic books if it was like Spider-Man campaigning for Trump's re-election.
Trump's America!
And Captain America, he could be like running around down there saying this wall needs to be 10 feet higher.
Buy bonds. Okay. Well, he did.
Right.
He did help sell war bonds in the first movie. So
exactly.
And I don't know. Maybe Thor will slap Captain Marvel back into Ms. Marvel.
Thor is also technically an immigrant if he were to come here. So let's not try to incorporate him into our pro-America stuff.
He's the most illegal immigrant.
Hey, at least try to assimilate.
Right.
He might be able to assimilate, but still, just another Johnny Foreigner coming over here trying to tell us how great he is.
He doesn't even show a passport.
Ooh, I'm a god. Yeah, so what? You actually are really cool. It's not the point.
I'm sorry, sir, but I must stamp your passport. Where is it? Stamp the hammer.
The hammer's his passport.
Some bureaucrat. There you go. You're in.
The bureaucrat's Hulk.
Yeah. Good grief. Yeah, the bureaucrat's Hulk. Yeah.
Dude, I would love that. There you go. They need to have a offshoot Incredible Hulk series where he's just working at like fucking Border Patrol. He's like essentially working for the Department of Homeland Security, sitting there at the airport like stamping shit, allowing people into the country.
Hulk board. Hulk board. Hulk stamp.
Hulk want to know why you come to America.
Hulk don't like
Hulk want to know how long you stay.
Hulk smell cocaine. Hulk smash.
Hulk say you denied. Click.
Yeah. Punch you back to the country.
Punch it out.
Welcome to America, puny human. I'd watch that.
Actually, I would imagine Red Skull pulling that off. I mean, not Red Skull, Red Hulk pulling that off.
That sounds. Well, he might also be portrayed as. Red Hulk could be seen as communist Hulk, and we don't want that. They'd be like, let's not. He could be coming in here to spread propaganda.
Well, all we really can do is just put on some blue and some white stripes and stars on him, and he's perfect.
Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, we'll just spray paint some white stripes on him and some blue with field with some stars on it, and be like, hey, he's been like he just took his citizenship test. He's good to go now.
Oh man,
hell out of him.
Wait, I got a quick question about that Black Panther movie. When is it coming out?
Next year. Well, I think February of next year. March or February next year.
I hope it's not February. I really hope it's not February.
Are you not allowed to like go to movies in February or something?
No. Just think about it. Like.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing the connection now.
It is. It's the 16th.
Oh, February 16th. Wow.
Coincidence? Uh-huh.
Yeah,
maybe.
Are you talking about that month where we talk about history? Is that what we're getting at?
Yeah, it's Valentine's Day month.
Oh yeah. It's
28 days. 28 days of romance, chocolate, and fucking.
Well, at least love.
Or as I like to call it, 28 days of Pornhub.
How's that different than any other month?
I don't do it at all days of the month. Sometimes you take a day off. I mean, shit. You don't want to go hitting the batting cages every day.
Well, you're young.
Well, true. He's got a point.
That's what pre-workout's for, man. Get some of that.
Sometimes you just want to switch it up with porn sites, man.
That's why I just stretch out my hand. That's a pre-workout.
Hey, as a how can I put this without being too delicate and not too offensive?
Just be offensive.
Well,
No one's
okay,
gonna care.
I'll say this. As
Only
my
like
gay
8
friend told me,
people
you have to
listen to
switch
this.
hands so that it doesn't curve to one side.
I don't know how accurate that is, but okay.
Okay.
I'm not in a mood to argue. But the other side of that whole stuff, now I don't know exactly where Jeff lives, but I know the general area. And,
Ohio.
Well, Ohio. Okay, so his mom's white and his dad, I guess his dad's probably mixed a little bit because Jeff's fairly light skinned, but you never know exactly how things are going to mix. His dad could
Don't assume his racial makeup.
I know, but it just.
I bet he's Andre the Giant's son.
Yeah,
you'll offend. You'll
like
offend him, and you'll offend him, and there will be a bunch of people walking around picketing your house, carrying signs and screaming your name.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's okay. I got a car. I could just run him over.
I would actually go help the protesters. I'd be carrying a sign and be like, yeah, fuck Brian.
I live in a mostly black neighborhood anyway, so it wouldn't take much to get a protest going. So, and that's part of what he even said in his thing. You know, his review of it. They even talked about it on the episode of, you know, you had a Samoan, a mixed race guy, a black guy, and you know, the only white, if you want to put it that way, person on that whole thing was Hillary.
And she's banging a black dude.
And she's banging a black dude, and
so I would say she's either not a racist at all, or she's just really, really getting deep undercover for something.
Damn it, Hillary! Don't sabotage the show.
But well, I tell you, don't be a no. But it's to me, it just shows how non-thinking people are. That there's all these assumptions, and even let's say, just like I said, let's say the stereotypes that they were wanting to try to portray in the comment section, those are the they know who they are, the ones that downvoted it.
Those people.
Who cares? You know, they weren't calling anybody names. If it was 4 white people or 4 Chinese people or whatever, or 4 green people or purple, I don't give a flip.
I'd hang out with them. It's
still their opinions, and if you don't, you know, say. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, hey man, I understand how you can feel that way about the trailer. I hope you're very wrong. And I even showed in one of the review videos that I did look at. So I forget exactly what this guy put, but he was talking about how this is supposed to be really good and all kinds of stuff. And I replied, I said, you know, dude, I hope you're 100% right, because I'm so much mad now for superhero movies. I hope that this thing is, you know, the greatest thing since Wonder Woman. So
the bar's not set very high.
No, but I would love for this movie to just break every record, and not because it's necessary. So, like I said, a so-called black film, or I don't see that black, white, green. It's just I either like it or I don't. But it would be, you know, just to kind of put some lifeblood back into the Marvel universe as we get close to the end. I mean, now Sony's talking about doing stuff, and I mean, I'll just kind of hint there, but their whole Homecoming thing,
that's abandoned ship right there.
It's insane what they're doing. So let's finish out because they talked about that in the episode. The last thing that we had as far as videos, and I'll have to admit I've only listened to about the first 15 minutes of, and that is the drunk commentary for Mortal Kombat. Now, I've seen both movies.
Finish him!
And this is definitely one of the best movies based on a video game out there, as far as I'm concerned.
Whoa! You mean Street Fighter wasn't better?
What?
No.
I saw The Legend of Chun-Li. That shit was amazing. It should have been. She got screwed in that Oscar.
Oh no, I was talking about the original Street Fighter with fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme playing Guile.
Yeah.
And Raul Julia playing M. Bison. I think it was like his final role. It's like,
that's the movie that killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. It's like, wow, you take this actor who's had this storied career, his last movie that he's ever going to have been made was Street Fighter.
Yeah. I remember when that happened, that movie came out, and then he died, and people were like, that I worked with were like, I can't believe that's his last movie. It's exactly like what you were saying. He's had all these great roles and great characters, and then there's this POS movie that he does right at the end. But I forget.
So bad it gave him instant cancer.
Yeah. Because he died, what, 2 years after that movie? Something like that?
It wasn't even 2 years. It was. I think he died like before it even came out or something like that.
Oh.
Like that movie was in production, I think.
I mean, it was pretty close after it. I mean, you can talk more about that. I'll find out for sure.
But seriously, you think that's better than Legend of Chun-Li with Irish Bison?
Yeah, he died before it came out. He died in November. It came out in December. He died in October.
Man, 1994. Shit, that was 23 years ago.
Yep.
God damn.
I remember 1994.
They say time flies when you're having fun. I've had like not a whole lot of fun with the majority of my life, and it still goes by quick.
Yep.
Your life is basically a prison sentence.
Where I live at, it feels like it. It's like I've been sent to solitary.
Yeah, you got to find a job closer to civilization.
Yeah, I definitely. I went back home. I went back home a few weeks ago to take my dad out for lunch for his birthday, and it like just driving around for the day. It's just like, you know what? Why did I move away from south of St. Louis, where there's tons of stuff and everybody I know, to the middle of northern Missouri? Oh wait, I had a job. Oh wait, I don't have that job anymore. Oh wait, I'm stuck in northern Missouri.
Or misery, as my sister used to call it.
Well, I mean, where I live is the biofuel capital of the world, so I mean, we got that going for us.
Lots of corn.
Yeah.
Yay.
Or soybeans. So
I don't.
So does anybody listening to the commentary? Because I don't really have any comments on it, unfortunately.
No, because I was going to sit down this weekend and actually watch the movie and had the commentary queued up with it.
That's good.
And I did not have any time in the last few days to do it. So I'm just like, you know what?
That's great. I've done that. I did that during
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Hey, and I am gonna try and do one. I'm actually thinking of doing a drunk commentary. I got to get the movie first. I'm gonna I haven't bought a movie in I don't even know how many years. I'm gonna order one probably in this next week, and I'm not gonna say what it is, other than I have seen the movie before, but I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with it. So.
Well, you could tell me, and I could drunk commentary it with you.
All I'm gonna say is I probably watched about like the first 15 minutes, and then I forgot what distracted me, and I have not watched it since.
Yeah, I started it. I think I was at work or something, and then I went on to other things and then forgot about it because I'm old and I forget shit. So, all right. Well, let's get into episode 74. Right,
76.
76. See, now I'm doing it.
Yeah, 76. I fucked it up last week. This week it's you.
Yeah.
All right.
I had an excuse. I'd been drinking. You're just senile.
Yeah.
I just can't read.
Well, I did attend the Jungle Jim's International Beer Fest Friday night, and some lady
that sounds cool.
Who did not look like she was in her 60s guessed my age. So she's
a Morgan Fairchild.
No, a lot hotter, better looking than Morgan Fairchild.
Ooh,
and not nearly as fat. So anyway,
did you take pictures?
No, you don't take pictures. No video, no pictures, no evidence. Deny. That's the rules.
See, I don't have that problem. I'm single. I can take all the pictures of chicks I want.
Well, there you go.
Especially when they don't know I'm doing it or know that I'm watching, it's even better. It ramps up the excitement.
So, Liquid Metal Pro got a heart and a bunch of thumbs up with his No One Messes with Adam Wee. I know we talked about Adam West last week, but that's what the guys talked about for the first good 30, 40 minutes, I think.
He deserves it.
So are there any other comments that anybody wants to make about Adam West that weren't made last week and you thought about and said, oh, I forgot about something? Or
No, not really. No. I mean, we spoke about it last time. I was really shocked when it happened because I didn't even know about it until you guys informed me.
Yep.
I did link something that I found, which was interesting. He did Adam West did an appearance on an episode of Johnny Bravo, and it was hilarious just seeing him portray his character to a T. And the way they did it, like there was a scene where he tells they're about to drink tea. I think is in a Chinese restaurant, and he tells Johnny Bravo, "Wait, don't drink that. It's probably poison. Pour it on the plant next to you, see if it dies."
Yeah, it's a lot of celebrities and things talking about apparently Adam West. I think he tried to distance himself from that character for a while, but then once it was in syndication, and then you had another generation of kids with it, I think he started to embrace it a little bit more. which is what other people have done. Bob Denver did the same thing with Gilligan, and Alan Hale did similar. Well, although he didn't take very long to do it with the Skipper. So I think it's sometimes you get too memorable for a role. But I posted this in the comment section on that episode where it was San Francisco, wasn't it, that did they did the bat signal on the side. L.A. They did it on the side of the police station, which was pretty nice. I watched started watching the video, and when the politicians got up to speak, I just skipped past all their speeches, because if they talk for more than 45 seconds, they're trying to make political hay out of it. If it's not like something like, I grew up on Adam West Batman, loved it back when I watched it when I was a kid, it was great, and blah blah blah, and then that's it. And then let's light it. If you talk more than that, then you're just probably got some prepared speech that some handler's given you, and you really don't even know what you're saying. So, all right. One of the things that was talked about earlier on in episode 76 was, again, Wonder Woman has come up. Now, I looked up Wonder Woman yesterday. Yesterday. What's interesting? No, well, it was number 2 in the weekend. It's still in fourth place as far as the DCEU movies. I even posted in the Facebook. Now, when I said it was catching up to Man of Steel, it's still got about, I think it's like $80 million to go, something like that. Well, it's really interesting, though, if you put all of the DC movies, all of them, not just the DCEU, but all the way, and I found a site that lets me put it in constant dollars, which is 2017 is when I chose.
Right.
Batman 89 was number 2.
Really?
Yeah. Batman, I think Batman The Dark Knight Rises was number 1, I think. I'll have to find that link. And what's interesting is Wonder Woman is 12th, still behind everything else in the DCEU, and I want to believe there's some other movie that's kind of an oddball that's in that top 12. But I just want, again, it puts this whole nonsense in perspective, because technically this movie hasn't made money yet. If the rule of thumb about its marketing budget holds true with this one, you're looking at doubling its. I guess it's made a little bit of money, because there's already talk about a Wonder Woman 2, and I'm like, okay, can we see if this thing even plays out? Because it hasn't fully. If you're going to consider this a success, then Batman versus Superman is a slam dunk. It grossed almost $900 million, and worldwide, which a lot of people don't realize. The Batman movie was the one that was over a billion. Nothing else has come close. Suicide Squad is number 3, or number 2 rather, and or no, it's number 3. So so these movies weren't. They got these movies that we consider to be flops, and they've made more money domestically than Wonder Woman has, which is being considered this, praise to womanhood and major success, when that isn't true. So, go figure.
I mean, what really can be said that hasn't already been said? It's just, I think it's part of it. I think it really is the fatigue thing. People have seen the other DC movies. They essentially were duped into watching crap. And now the one time that they made again, I haven't watched the movie myself, but the one time that they finally made a movie, according to anyone, that's any decent or good, nobody really cares. They didn't, even DC, for its, like I said, this is Wonder Woman we're talking about. Whether you like her, you hate her, whatever your opinion of her may be, she is an iconic character, not just here in the United States, but all throughout the world. I mentioned it before, how Linda Carter's Wonder Woman was even watched in South American countries, where my parents grew up. Linda Carter and La Mujer Maravilla. It wasn't even treated like an event. It should have been an event. It should have been treated as this major spectacle, the first of possibly once in a lifetime type of thing, for all we know.
Right.
And it wasn't. They just kind of threw it out there, left it to dry, and it's kind of like how Sony's treating Spider-Man, in my opinion, a little bit, because it's like they look like they don't even have faith in Homecoming. They keep putting Iron Man's face in multiple advertisements. to get you to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, it kind of felt like that. I'm like, so, like, it looked like DC didn't even have faith in its own product, despite the fact they actually did a much better job. And to put things in perspective, I was at work and I overheard I don't know if they were a couple or whatever the case they were, but there was this girl and this guy talking about the movie. The guy didn't know like what was going on. Like he still needed to have the whole Ares thing explained to him by her. And I'm like, it's a superhero movie. I don't think it's supposed to get too philosophical. If someone needs something like that explained to him, then that means that the movie really isn't taking off as good as it really should be. So
Yep.
I think it's just that word of mouth. People have just gotten so tired of the DC movies to an extent that is finally starting to show. And it's sad because if this really is, again, I can only take their word at it, as good as a movie as the guys explained it was, then it's really sad because the one movie that should be getting more attention isn't. Whereas all these movies that should have never gotten as much attention in the first place got it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did find that site. Now, this is U.S. I thought it was worldwide totals, but this is domestic U.S. sales. So when I adjust it to 2017 constant dollars, I said Wonder Woman was number 12, which it is. Batman Begins is 11. Man of Steel is 10. Suicide Squad. So there's already two movies. Well, Man of Steel, that was a DCEU, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman Begins wasn't. Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, 8. Superman 2, which is 1981, is 7th, which I thought of the original Superman movies, that one was a little bit better than the first, but it was starting to get a little corny. And by the time we get Superman 3 and 4, 3 was actually pretty good in some regard, but most of it was crap. Batman Returns, we have at number 6, number 5, Batman Forever. Superman, the 1978 movie, is number 4 when adjusted for inflation here. So that's at $507 million domestic. At least I think this is domestic because it says 279. Yeah, I think this is. So well, no, this can't be. I don't know. I don't know what this is. It says adjusted gross. I don't know what it is. So I don't know if it's domestic or foreign. And then, where am I? Dark Knight Rises, number 3. Batman 89 is number 2. And The Dark Knight is number 1. So I stand corrected. Dark Knight Rises is number 3. So those were the Nolan Batmans. You had 2 of the 3 of those movies were pretty good. But even like Batman Forever, 95, isn't that bad when adjusted. And people think that of that one as a horrible, horrible movie. It's
okay.
So it's again one of these things where the perspective needs to be kept, I think, in where these movies sit. I mean, to give you an idea of how much value the dollar's lost since '78. So Superman, when adjusted for inflation, is $507 million. Its opening weekend, which is that not adjusted on this chart, is $28 million, and that was 508 theaters.
Thanks, Jimmy Carter.
So you're talking probably $2 or so, maybe less, in '78. I mean, I didn't buy tickets for movies back then, so I don't remember. I did go to them, but
so you snuck in.
I was 10 years old. I was probably going with an adult, but so probably the matinee. Cause you have to remember too, my whole sense of movie tickets is very skewed because in '79 we moved to Fort Belvoir, Virginia, and it was like 75 cents. So I was on a military base till '86, so I was paying even a lot less than on the economy, as we call it. But I'm going to guess about $2 at most for movie tickets. So that is a lot of people seeing that movie, and only 508 screens. Whereas Wonder Woman is in 4,165 theaters. So 8 times the theaters, and it did, when adjusted for inflation, just over half the money for a movie from '78. So to me, it's not a huge rousing success. It's nothing like the Nolan Batman movies. It's nothing like the Batman movies from the '90s, and it's not beating out the other DCE movies. And then I don't want to be accused of trying to smack this movie down. I'm just trying to keep some perspective. I mean, it did better than Watchmen, which I saw Watchmen, and I'm like, the only reason people seen this movie is because what's her face's boobs are out here? Because I thought the movie was just boring to me.
I didn't even watch it.
And V for Vendetta is 21 on this list, and I thought that movie was very good. It should have.
I thought it sucked.
Yeah.
I fell asleep.
Yeah,
So there's a compromise.
Well, it was a mind scramble basically, and it messed with you thinking what was going on and what wasn't. Although I must say that the Guy Fawkes mask nonsense I'm beyond sick of that. I don't think people who know who Guy Fawkes was, considering he wanted to blow up Parliament because they were Protestants and he was Catholic.
He was executed for being the traitor that he was.
Yeah. So anyway,
right?
that is that, as it were. I have not seen this movie yet. My daughter, like I said last week, she tried to see it, and the theater, they had a problem. She hasn't been back to see it. My wife has almost no interest. It's like if I ring her arm, she might go see it, but it's.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well just do it to get her make you dinner instead.
Yeah. Well, I know what happens, and I'm kind of annoyed that they kill off Steve Trevor, but to me, of the DC female characters, she's the most infamous. And it just felt forced that she had an origin movie. I think we could have just, if they redid Batman versus Superman and not made it Batman versus Superman and made that kind of the subtext and made it really more Superman versus Lex Luthor or something, which really happened in the movie. And you still had him manipulating things, but it wasn't supposed to be this fight. And then she shows up. I think you just go into Justice League. It's like we know where these characters come from. We don't need standalone movies other than to, pad the pockets of some movie executive. But this thing's got a ways to go before I'd say it was a major success. But then, like the Suicide Squad, which everybody thinks is the most worst movie ever made, actually has done quite a bit better at the box office. So
it's not true. 2 people say that It Comes at Night is the worst movie that was ever made.
Okay, worst DC EU movie.
There you go.
Because I actually liked Suicide Squad for the first half, and then it jumped the shark, shit the bed, or whatever you want to say, and then just went downhill from there, and it was no fun. So it was downhill through the mountains.
Suicide Squad was basically an autistic mess.
Yeah. Well, Suicide Squad is stereotypical of movies where movie execs who think they know what they're doing want to have a say, and they force rewrites, and they force reshoots, and they prove time and time again they have no clue how to make a movie. They may not have a clue how to say, yep, this thing gets the green light, and we're going to make it. But beyond that, they're not directors, they're not writers, they're not editors, they're not producers, and I just wish they'd learn that.
Yeah, most of them don't even know the product they're selling. So.
Oh no, I don't think they would trip if they wouldn't know it if they tripped over it out in the Warner Brothers parking lot. What is that? Get it away from me. So anyway, why don't you guys pick up another topic from the episode 76?
Let's see. They briefly reviewed The Mummy. I guess they watched that. I think for the most part they thought it was okay. They didn't think it was great. They just thought it was okay.
Yeah, I thought Nick gave it a 6, if I want to remember.
I believe Nick gave it a 6. I think Jeff said that it was Tom Cruise was pretty much being Mission Impossible Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and I don't know. So I have not watched it yet. I'm not interested. I saw the trailer for it. I'm just like, it's not really something that's jumping out and getting me. And I like, monster movies. They discussed superhero fatigue briefly. They talked about directors breaking Kanan, because I can't think of his name.
Cannon,
the
maybe?
Guy, Cannon, whatever.
Kanan?
Shut up.
They're breaking the promised land. Bunch of hurtful anti-Semites.
That's fine.
I wasn't even thinking that.
Yeah, way to take it there. God damn it, the guy that directs the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, cannot think of his name all of a sudden.
Some guy.
I'm blanking on it. the guy that directs Guardians of the Galaxy. Anyway, I'm not going to stop to look it up because I can't think of his name. I don't know why. So I guess he's wanting to kind of go away from the source material for the third one after having done it for the first two.
James
Wants to
Gunn.
kind of... Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Doesn't he want to retcon some stuff? In the
It sounded like the way they were describing it on the show was that he wants to take and do the third one just the way he wants to do it. Like,
I thought
just...
they retcon stuff. I haven't seen the second one, but I know who Star-Lord's dad is and stuff. And I'm thinking, aren't we already retconning the first movie? You know,
I don't know.
Kind of in a sense, because there was a lot that wasn't explained in the first movie, and then the second movie, it all kind of got like. Yeah, you kind of see your point on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I saw the first one. I'll eventually see this one. To me, the first one was good enough to just leave alone. It didn't need a second movie. But I also thought the same way about Thor. I thought the same way about Captain America. Now, Captain America, the second one was kind of it was kind of to bring the Avengers, to bring a storyline so that we get Civil War. That was the whole point of Winter Soldier, was to set up Bucky to be the impetus for Civil War. But
essentially,
yeah, and then and it's because they were getting along too well. And I even saw a little featurette about why they did that, is to kind of create conflict, and then of course something's going to come out of the galaxy, out of the universe, to come at, I guess, Earth. And this is how you're going to get Guardians. This is why you got Spider-Man. We've got the British Spider-Man from New York. I think it's funny. You ever listen to that guy speak in his native accent?
No, I haven't.
No. He's from England, He talks something like that, but he doesn't. He's not from South London. But it's funny because then it's like, okay, that explains his weird American accent. I just think it's hilarious. But all the up in arms about the mummy being what was the thing with the mummy? Somebody was complaining she was white or something, but she's from Egypt. The actress, and it's the mummy in Egypt. I mean, come on, Silly.
Wait, did people actually complain about that?
Yeah.
People complain about everything.
Everything's whitewashed, man. Just even when it isn't. I think Nick even said, phooey, he's dropped again. Yeah, Nick even said something like, I think Jeff asked him, which one do you see again, the Mummy or Wonder Woman? And
he said Wonder Woman.
No, I thought he said the Mummy.
Oh, I thought he said Wonder Woman.
Oh, I don't know.
That doesn't matter. If you're listening to this and you haven't listened to their show yet, and you want to know what he said, listen to their show.
I'm sure Oggs for President will correct us in the comments below and tell us the timestamp on which Nick says whatever he says. And while we're at it, please visit incarnatestudios.com. We don't get a dime for it, but we actually get great entertainment because when you buy T-shirts, they come back on the air. And WCBS, don't forget the WCBS. Yes, Incarnate-Studios. Thanks for the correction. And don't forget to use hashtag WCBS anytime you're on Twitter, because we were trying to troll the actual WCBS.
Yes, use promo code Kendo Slices Awesome and get 0% off your order.
Yep.
Idiot. I was about to do that right now, too.
So,
I want to ask Jeff if I buy him lunch, if I can get free shipping.
I would think so.
So anyway.
Okay, so they also mentioned bringing back the great debate like they used to have, and it would be about
debate.
Yes, about the animated series debate, adult animated series debate, because it's been talked about before. It's happened in the comments section, pretty much about Simpsons, South Park, and Family Guy. I think there was a fourth, but I can't remember which one he said. If there was, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's the...
it was King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah. So, they might be able to discuss that and whatever. If I was to rank them, I know where I would put them myself.
That's a tough one.
It's not real. It depends. Like, if you take Simpsons as, like, all the Simpsons, it's towards the bottom. If you're able to break it into chunks, Like if I say Simpsons seasons 1 through 9, that's going to be at the top of the list. If it's Simpsons everything, it's like, okay, that's towards the bottom down there with Family Guy, because Family Guy, same thing. Family Guy, first few years it was on TV, fantastic. Ever since then, dog shit.
Yep, I've never seen the Family Guy. King of the Hill was my favorite back in the day.
Oh, I loved King of the Hill. I thought it was great.
Hey, Bowie, I got to read some more comments. Christopher Littleton on this, to the Dick Cave, Curtis. Sorry, man. Oh, I just killed Liquid Metal Pro. He choked to death.
Damn it.
That's all right.
They repealed
one less foreigner.
Yeah. The biggest reason I liked the King of the Hill was when I was in that kind of mood to watch the adult cartoons. The Simpsons, I have to agree, it started to kind of grate on me. But I lived in the South at the time. King of the Hill, I lived in Knoxville, outside Knoxville, and these people were my neighbors. So I could just go down the street, and there was a boomhauer that they would stand. The guy next door would sit out under my shade tree on his yard though, in his wife beater and boxers, and I'm not kidding, and drink crap beer and sit in his lawn chair. And then the guy down the street, he talked like Boomhauer. I didn't need any explanation with Boomhauer. And then we had, of course, the chain smoking pro gun nut. It was hilarious. It's like, these people, it's like they drive through my neighborhood and said, but and I like the topics they covered, I guess, and that was part of it. And
actually wouldn't mind a Dale Gribble as a friend.
Yeah, I'd hang out with Dale.
He'd come kill your bugs dead.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, you know why I like Dale? He's friends with a Mexican.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what they call it? Well, you know what Ford means, don't you?
Found on road dead.
Well, he says, "Fix it again, Tony."
That's what he
Fix it again, Tony.
Dale, that's a Fiat. And then you see him mouth the words. Fix it again, Tony. Yeah. That's...
My favorite King of the Hill moment is probably when Bobby gets an F in English class and they're sitting there at the table and Hank's like, "You got an F in English? Bobby, you speak English."
God damn.
Just because it's so simplistic and funny, yet it's like, it's possible. You can fail English class even if you speak it by not doing your work or spelling like a complete fucking idiot.
Well, hey, if you don't grow up in the South, they don't know how to spell in no English.
That sounded racist.
You know what's my favorite?
Go ahead.
Remember the one episode where Hank had to go to anger management because he cut off Dale's thumb, I think it was?
Yes.
And he completed his anger management, and he got his certificate. But you know that instructor, like whatever he was such an asshole, and you wanted him to get his. And immediately, as soon as Hank is done with his getting his certificate, you see the return of Chuck Mangione, and the guy has a certificate, and he's like, "What, Chick Mangione? I'm not a chick, I'm a dude," and he smacks him. What was that thing that he played? He just like.
It's like a type of trumpet, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a trumpet. He smacked them with it. You see the guy's smug face in the beginning. The moment he looks at that certificate, like, "Chick Mangione," he just whacked that dude with that thing. I was like, "You got yours in the end, buddy."
Oh, that boy ain't right.
You got bullshitters and buy the goddamn T-shirt at incarnate-studios.com and
boy.
And then and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we do have one of the top Patreon contributors in Kendo Slice. And
I thought you were talking about somebody else there.
No, you got to get your questions in, and I got to figure out what the heck I'm doing. I
sent in my question Sunday.
All right, excellent.
If you want to know what it is, tune in next Friday.
Yeah, tune in Friday morning.
Yeah, I'm trying to plug the show. It's like when the jack off on the radio tells you that he's got this really good story coming up. You're like, "Oh, I want to hear that," and then like an hour goes by, and he's like, "Still got to talk about this," and it's like, "Dude, I don't want to keep listening. I just want to hear about that."
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing right now.
Get to the story already.
Okay,
I am being that jack off.
This section of the Fancast brought to you by palm olive oil. I don't know. I thought that was funny. You're soaking in it.
No. Yes, I know. Imagine you soaking in it. I just remember seeing those commercials in like the late '80s, watching the Three Stooges
at
11 o'clock.
In the '80s. I remember in the '70s. I gotta get back to the gym.
Good job. I was dating you to the '80s. You just went ahead and added another decade on there. Let's see. Another thing they did was they ranked Batman actors to talk about Adam West's passing. So they ranked their Batman actors. If you guys want to throw yours out, I'm game, and we will include Kevin Conroy.
Okay.
Kevin Conroy's a man.
All right, let's get the fill out of the way. Why did you say Martha? It's so funny because it's obvious why he said Martha. Lois Lane explained it to him. And yet I see that all over the place in various comments, and I'm like, did you not watch the movie?
Probably not.
I actually had to look it up thinking they just made that for the movie, but sure enough, their mothers were both named Martha, and I've known that for a long, long time and never put 1 and 3 together. So
same here. I actually was still like dumbfounded, and damn, it actually hit me like a ton of bricks just now. Like I still can't believe it. That was actually a lie.
Yep. But that's what got him to pause long enough to realize, hey, he's got a mama too. And I will say this. I know we're talking about Batman, but I'm going to bring up Wonder Woman yet again. And I think I said it last time. I know we're going to get a Batman, looks like a pseudo-origin movie. Don't need it. There's enough in Batman v Superman that we know where he comes from. Right? If you've never heard of Batman
movies already.
Right. We don't need the Batman. And I got to, it's probably ego at this point. I got to have my own movie.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Batman.
Is that the moose from Wally World?
Wow, what?
When you said that, it sounded like the moose from Wally World. Sorry, folks, park's closed.
All right. But no, seriously, this is Batman's origin story in a nutshell. Him, his parents, go out to watch some play or whatever, or Broadway music. I don't know.
It was a porno film.
Fine. It was you know what? I believe that now after that politician with the tentacle porn. What's his fucking face? Well, anyways, beside the point. He goes out with his parents. They take a wrong turn, wrong alley, and parents get shot. Screws up Bruce. Alfred raises him. That's all you need to know.
Yep, pretty much.
It's all Alfred's fault. But they show that in flashbacks in that movie, and I'm like, we don't need an origin. We have his origin right here. And they could have done, if you take out probably the big chunk of them fighting each other, and you just kind of have what I think that, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But if you had them kind of coming together, go against Lex Luthor, kind of get somewhat defeated, Wonder Woman shows up, you could have slight flashbacks with her, they defeat that big creature, I forget the
her top off.
Yeah, no. But anyway, the creature, I'm sorry, she's just too small. Anyway, the creature that they fight, and but you could have had flashbacks or exposition explaining where Wonder Woman comes from, and then we just go into Justice League. We don't need a Wonder Woman movie. We don't need a Batman movie. We're probably going to get the Flash. We're going to get a Flash movie, and I understand the need for origin movies, but they've already had a come together. And once you've done that, this is what drives me nuts with some of the Marvel stuff. We had them come together for Avengers, and then ta-da! It's an Iron Man movie with no one the Avengers around, or it's a Thor 3 movie, or not granted the Thor they put on another planet. But how does Hulk just kind of shows up, because
he does whatever he wants.
Because script. And
yeah, we forgot to write him in.
And what the hell were we talking about?
Reasons.
We
started with talking about ranking Batman.
We haven't ranked Batman actors yet. Who's the guy in the Christopher Nolan movies?
Christian Bale. Christian Bale.
Other than that stupid voice, I actually like, as far as action-packed Batman movies, I liked his portrayal. As far as personal touch, more or less normal voice, I'm probably going to go with Michael Keaton, and then I put Adam West right underneath of those. I guess part of it's depending on what I'm considering important. I didn't watch the animated series, so I can't speak to anyone else.
Boo.
I know.
Damn it, man.
It's a consequence of being
Well,
20 years old.
Christian Bale had to do the voice, though, because if I don't talk like this, Gary Oldman will know I'm Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Well,
and
I
then,
sound like a gravel truck smoking apart in a
and then
wreck.
the second one we had Bane, who kind of outdid him because he talked like.
Are you the Batman?
Oh, sorry.
I'm here to stop the Batman. Or you will die.
Oh, Bola.
This is what happened when I tried anal one day.
Damn. All right. So, let me segue back to the topic. If I was ranking the men who have portrayed the Batman.
Thank you.
From worst to first, I'm gonna have to go with George Clooney, then Ben Affleck,
Oh, I forgot.
then Val Kilmer, then I'm guessing Adam West after that, then Christian Bale, Kevin Conroy, and Michael Keaton.
All right. I almost forgot about the first three you mentioned.
Yeah.
So
They're forgettable performances. That's why.
God damn it!
Can't
George
forget
Clooney.
the bat nipples. Come on.
Yeah,
That was Clooney, right?
that
he
was Clooney.
He was Nipple Man.
It was.
Wasn't that the back credit card too?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when they really jumped the shark.
And to be fair, I don't think Val Kilmer did that horrible of a job. The problem is he was following Michael Keaton, plus Batman Forever wasn't really that. It was okay of a movie, but it wasn't horrible, but it was just okay.
Too much Schumacher.
So I mean, if given time, he could have probably done a better job, because at one point Val Kilmer was a really good actor. At least I thought he was, because he was in Tombstone and he was in The Doors, and he was Iceman in Top Gun, which is one of the greatest films ever made. I don't care what anybody else has to say.
I think that was one of his best roles, actually.
Iceman? Yeah, he was good. Anyway, Liquid Metal Pro, your Batman's.
You said Batman Forever, right? That was number 5 when you adjust for inflation.
Yeah, it was a huge
yeah.
movie when it came out. I mean, it was.
I remember the promotion.
They advertised the shit out of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, again, going back to the whole making it an event thing, they made that into an event. They made that.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was the only, if I remember correctly, there were a couple other superhero-oriented movies. I think you had The Phantom. You had,
Rocket Man, I think, was in the 90s.
Yeah, there weren't too many, and well, of course, Rocket Man had two great things going for it, and that was Jennifer and Connelly. And so you can see where my mind warps. But no, there was another one with, what was his name? All right, go ahead and do yours, and I'll go look it up.
All right. So basically, Clooney, go to hell. Affleck, whatever. Val Kilmer, you know what? It wasn't that bad. So I'll give you. You're just in the honorable mentions because apparently I forgot that. Yes, you were Batman. Oh. All right. So let's go from there. Let's see. Number 5, Snoopy in that one episode of Robot Chicken.
Oh dear. I don't think that really counts, but okay.
Hey, it's better than Clooney.
All right, I'll give you that.
Granted, he got killed by I think Lucy of all people. I forgot. No, it wasn't Lucy. What the hell was Charlie Brown's sister? Look up
Sally.
Yeah, Sally. He got killed by Sally. Whatever. Anyways, Christian Bale. Don't really hate him. Hate the voice. Sadly, that kind of skews my views about that Batman. So, 4, 3. I would definitely say Adam West definitely left an impression on me because I used to watch the old Batman series as a kid. Never really liked it much, but he was entertaining. So I'm going to give him 3 because he was there a big part of my life, and I did enjoy the classic Batman with him. Plus, he did a few appearances and, other stuff, so I'll give him that. 2, this is where I have to, almost nitpick to decide which one I like better. And Sadly, too, it's going to be Michael Keaton. And it's only because Kevin Conroy has done much, much more in terms of Batman, in terms of more appearances and everything. Plus, that animated series, you just know how much I love it.
It's a good show.
Yeah, I just love him. And I actually, was it a couple years, I think it was like a couple years back, he's always at New York City's Comic-Con, like, frequently. But you look at that line is ridiculously long. Just to give you an idea how much of a big deal Kevin Conroy really is. And you look at him, and then you think about the character he plays on the show, it almost looks like they don't match. We'll talk about one couple sector.
I think he do the voices for the Arkham games too.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Mark Hamill's the Joker too, and in terms of Joker portrayals, Mark Hamill's my favorite, followed by I almost want to put Jack Nicholson ahead of Heath, but that movie's just really good.
I'm sorry, I gotta put Jack Nicholson as my second best Joker. He gave it class.
I mean, personally, I think Jared Leto should be number one, but I'm just saying.
Well, Jared definitely has the psychotic side of Joker down, but there's nothing to be sympathetic about.
Yeah,
the only thing Jared Leto made me like about him was the fact that he was a cuck Joker.
There you go. The thing about, but see, that what you say is going back to the psychology of the Joker is like, you do sometimes get a little bit of sympathy for the Joker just because, yeah, he's fucking a lunatic and everything like that and just wants to see the world set on fire. But at the same time, it's like, you know, he can be, I wouldn't say he could be decent, but they can sort of portray him in a sympathetic light.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, and I'm using two sources here. One is the animated series, which I can't, again, they just did a great job of setting up the whole lore for the entire Batman franchise. What was that one episode where they had that one-off character who quote-unquote killed Batman? He was like the most useless henchman possible, but he accidentally gets a kill on Batman, quote-unquote kill. And Joker really took it really hard. And he was like, and he said something along the lines like how there's a certain rhythm to these things. I start trouble, he comes and stops me. We repeat this thing. We have a few laughs and repeat the process over again. Basically saying he's kind of like nothing without Batman. Like,
yeah, they have a codependent relationship.
And then I remember reading in one of my favorite comics to read, Dark Knight Returns. Like Joker just went crazy. Like he just went catatonic when Batman disappeared.
Well, in the Arkham series, they do a good job of doing stuff like that too. Because spoiler alert: at the end of Arkham City, and the Joker's dead, and Batman's carrying him out, he's kind of like sad and feels bad that the Joker's dead. He's like, I could have saved him, I could have kept him alive, or something like that. And it's like, I get that you're all for justice, but he's caused you so much aggravation, and he's such a psychotic. But at the same time, you're the Batman, and you're like, oh man, I feel bad that this my one of my greatest nemesis is dead now. And this is like, it just feeds in that whole, the two of them psychologically are just tied to each other.
It's that domestic abuse relationship is what it is.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a codependency. It's a total emotionally, psychologically abusive codependent relationship.
Doesn't Heath Ledger's Joker basically say that to Batman? You complete me, something like that.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah,
yeah, he does.
Yeah. So anyway, to finish the question, I know there's people they're out there. You know, the A-type personalities are like, can he get back to it? So the Phantom the movie was Billy Zane was the Phantom. That was what I was actually. The other one was the Shadow. That's what I was actually thinking of. But speaking of Billy Zane, if anybody wants a guilty pleasure for a $2 rental and you come across Survival Island, get it. Kelly Brook is the best thing in that movie. That's all I'm gonna say. So
because she has massive tatas,
or just look it up. But yeah, that's how I found it, who it was. But so yeah, back in that Batman Returns, there was
what movie is this again?
Survival Island.
Does Kelly Brook get them out in that movie?
I don't want to give it away.
Well, it's going to decide whether or not I actually rent it.
Yes.
Well,
Fantastic. I love it because, like I said, Kelly Brook has big, big boobs, and I love looking
This
at
was
big
back
boobs.
before kids and when she gained 40 pounds and everything else. But like I said, she's the best thing in that movie. I mean, the movie's horrible. But and then I forget who plays, because Billy Zane is like her husband, and then it does have a bit of a twist at the end. It's not an obvious ending.
So it's not M. Night. Is it like M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dongs twisting?
No, it actually makes sense. And then the guy who plays Manuel is Juan Pablo de Pace, I guess.
Just say Javier Bardem.
God damn it! I just looked this up. God damn.
What? Kelly
Oh,
Brook?
Kelly Brook, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Now-
nice, aren't they?
God.
She was in a movie too. Is it called The Room?
No,
not
she
The
was
Room.
definitely not in the
No,
room.
no. I'm thinking of. There's actually.
I would. God, I fucking wish you'd have been in the room.
No, she
With
was.
as much nudity was there. Of course, most of it was Tommy Wiseau's ass nudity.
Oh God.
Well, what movie? She was in a thriller. It was a British movie. I'm pretty certain. It didn't do that well. Basically, I mean, it's House of Nine. It's
No.
actually, yeah, Nine Strangers, no apparent connection between that. Yeah, they keep getting abducted and killed. That one was a good movie, I thought too, and it had somewhat of a twisted ending.
Anything involving topless Kelly Brook is a thriller to me.
She's not topless in that, from what I remember. But Dennis Hopper's in that movie.
R.I.P.
And several other people. Peter Capaldi's in that. That's why I guess it's a British thing. Ashley Walters, Susie.
I feel like I know that. I feel like I know what movie you're talking about, but I just can't. Let me see. I'm looking through it.
Since you mentioned Dennis Hopper, fun fact: the
Yeah.
Deadpool that I help run, our trophy is actually called the Dennis Hopper Memorial Trophy because he was the first celebrity death after we started doing the Deadpool, so we named the trophy after him.
Oh, that's funny.
And so I am the recipient of at least one Hopper in my life, and right now I'm currently leading this year and missed out on my second Hopper last year by 8 points.
Well,
so anyway, there's two movies if you want a skin flick. Although fairly boring, skip to the good parts. Survival Island, and then House of Nine is a pretty creepy. At least I find it pretty creepy. I'd like to get Nick and Jeff's opinion on House of Nine. It kind of starts in that stereotypical style, but then to me it kind of slowly leaves it behind, and it's subtle. So when you get to the end, you think you know what's going to happen. And it's a little bit unexpected. At least it was for me. Now, I'm not a big horror movie fan, and I don't remember why I ever even watched that movie. I was probably traveling or something and saw it or stayed up too late or whatever. I mean, at one time we did have satellite for like 2.5 years, and then I finally told DirecTV to take a hike. But another thing that I know that they talked about was video games and the movies that became video games or licensed video games other than GoldenEye. And someone made in the comments below in the comments section about the Nintendo 64 Superman.
God, that game was horrible.
That game was a glitch fest. I think Truckers is the only one that's worse than that. I think it's called Truckers, where you can actually fall through bridges and.
No, it's Big Rig Racing
or
something.
Racing or something like that.
Yeah, and you go in reverse, and you can have infinite speed. Yeah.
Was it Your Winner and Your spelled wrong? I think it was.
Yeah. But I have to go back to the old days because that's back when I played video games a lot. And to me, one of the earliest ones that I remember playing and actually liking, even on the Atari 2600, was a Ghostbusters movie. The first Ghostbusters video game, which was pretty nice, licensed game. Most of the games I did in the 80s and 90s, I was more into racing games. the Need for Speed and Test Drive and that kind of stuff, and those are the ones that became movies. So it's going the other direction. They became horrible movies. But so, what do you guys? Do you have any memories of playing licensed video games based on movies that you liked or hated or whatever?
Yeah, I have a shitload of memories based on that. I play a lot of video games. That's what I spend most of my time doing.
I'm trying to think of a few.
GoldenEye doesn't count, but that game was great as hell. I liked Jeff's going with WWF No Mercy because I was thinking WCW NWO Sold Out was really great too.
Oh, that's right. It's licensed. It doesn't have to necessarily be based on a movie.
I know the Ghostbusters Xbox 360 game from like 09 or 10. That game is really good because it's essentially the third movie that Dan Aykroyd wanted to make. So
yes, it is.
So if you wanted the Ghostbusters 3, that game is pretty much Ghostbusters 3.
Is that the one where they do the time travel?
No, this is where they go to into essentially the ghost world, and
okay. They go to another dimension then.
Yeah, essentially, because like the way the game plays out, you are a rookie recruit to become a Ghostbuster because they're expanding, and so that's kind of where the story would have went with the movie, according to Dan Aykroyd. Anyway, is that they would have these young recruit Ghostbusters because those four guys can't bust all the ghosts, I guess, in New York, and so.
On top of that, time will eventually take its toll on them too. So
yeah, essentially, you're running around as a rookie Ghostbuster recruit. You end up in the library again, and you get sucked through some kind of vortex, and you're in like this ghost world thing, and you fight your way through there. It's fun. I liked it. Trying to think of other ones I've played that are really good.
I sadly never bought that game, which was my mistake. I have found a place that sells a copy of it, but like $40 and money being tight right now. I kind of feel dumb. I never bought that game when it came out.
I'm just blanking right now on officially licensed games. Those are good. I don't know. I'm just gonna stick with the Ghostbusters.
Now in the arcade, I liked. It was kind of hokey, but the NBA had a licensed arcade game.
NBA Jam.
Yeah, I think that was in the 90s.
I played that. I played that Sunday.
Sega.
There's the place that we went and pre-gamed before Money in the Bank. It was called Start Bar, and they have a bunch of old arcade games. Like I was playing the TMNT arcade game, and NBA Jam, Simpsons arcade game.
Yeah, I saw your pictures on that too.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And apparently on Sundays, video games is free. So like, didn't even cost anything to play the games. And they had an upstairs there you could go sit up there. They had like PS4 and Xbox Ones, but they also had a bunch of 64s, and we were playing GoldenEye, and I totally raped the shit out of my cousin in GoldenEye. First time I played the game in like 15 years, and it was like right back to where I left off.
Yeah.
They have a place like that here in New York City called Barcade. It's a classic arcade type of bar location, and you basically play games for a quarter. They have a lot of those old ones like that. The beat 'em up arcades, some of the old Atari games as well. I remember one day, this was back during the height of the Gamergate days. There was a reunion. A lot of people gathered there to kind of like show support and this whole thing, like try to meet it was like an online thing, and they were like, oh, why don't we all meet one day? We all met, got to know one another. Essentially, who was everybody behind the avatar, so to speak. And I remember playing that night Smash TV for like a good hour. Like I think I spent like $5 worth of quarters just playing Smash TV alone.
Yeah.
Barcade. So if you guys ever in New York City, definitely check that out. Same thing with you listeners out there. If you ever check out well, keep in mind Barcade is a bar. So if you're under 21, you're not getting in.
Sorry, Augie, you can't get in. But yeah, here in Cincinnati, I haven't been the one in Cincinnati, but there's one in Columbus called 16-bit. It's old classic arcade games. Arcade games from my middle teen years, I guess. It's not like I don't know if they have Pac-Man. I don't know if Pac-Man's actually 16-bit. It might be more like 8, but
yeah.
There, I don't know. At least the Saturday night my wife and I went there. It's been a year and a half ago now, almost 2 years. You didn't have to put any quarters in. You just hit go, and no, it was last summer, so it's only been a year. See, I'm just losing my mind. But we didn't buy any beer because I didn't feel like it because I just had way too much. Two places up from where we were staying near the quad. They had several good craft beer and stuff, so I already had more than I cared for. But played several games. All I had to do, is hit go and off and running. And my understanding is the one 16-bit here in Cincinnati is similar type stuff. But yeah, to me, I think in many ways the games have gotten way confusing. You got these controllers with 7,500 buttons on them, and but it's still good to kind of, hey, can I still play Defender? And no, that was the answer. I couldn't play it back in the 80s, and I still can't. But yeah. Pac-Man, I played a Star Wars game. I played the stand-up version of it, which I don't know if I've ever played before. I always played the sit-down version. I got to about the 5th level before it just became... It was trying to be fast, but they're doing the raster graphics. It was really slow. But so I got killed out. But it was nice. It was nice kind of revisiting some of those old games. But I really want to get a 2600 emulator or something. But
you can find them on the internet. I've got an NES emulator on my computer.
That's one of the things. I got to get my Apple II emulator. I'll copy it off my other Mac hard drive before I call it a day, and finally get all that crap done. It's been a nightmare trying to get all that stuff resolved. So, any other topics, guys, that we want to cover with what happened with the WCBS Week in Review, as it were?
That's pretty much it. Jeff and Dion are going to do their What's Wrong With Whatever series they've been talking about. I think he said they're going to have that going in, publishing that in August. And that's pretty much it. Ring Rust is back. They did an episode last Wednesday. They're recording another one tomorrow. And it's going to be a light week this week because Jeff is busy. And they're going to have an episode of Ring Rust, and then they're going to have the usual Friday main show. And that's pretty much it for World Class Bullshitters this week coming up, or that we're currently in.
Yeah, sounds about a nice light week. Yeah. I've already said everything. I've already spoken my piece. The only thing I'll say is definitely, I will definitely look forward to those What's Wrong With videos that Jeff and Dion are going to work on. I'm also definitely. I know I posted this in the comments already. I forgot which video it was. But Jeff mentioned doing that whole Hollywood and masculinity video thing that's going on. Definitely looking forward to that one as well, Jeff, if you are going to work on that, because I used to be one of those people that used to hear that topic a lot and think it was just BS, some kind of like Stefan Molyneux level conspiracy stuff. But there's a lot of truth to that, and I've been starting to not only noticing more and more, but it's kind of obvious at this point. It's just people are kind of like a little bit, I won't say in denial, rather they're not seeing exactly the underlying themes of what's going on, not just in entertainment, but in general. I mean, like Father's Day was this past Sunday. Happy belated Father's Day out there, by the way. Sorry.
Don't trigger anybody that doesn't have a father or single mother out there.
Freaking bad. You came from a dick and a vagina. The circumstances are irrelevant. You're a human being.
Or someone whose father now declares himself an attack helicopter.
There you go.
My propeller ain't working, so I can't reproduce.
Damn.
I think it's more of a piston, but anyway.
Oh, whatever. I'm not going to ask how a guy in a wheelchair reproduces either.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Sorry for that mental image. But long story short, I've heard this stupid shit about how they wanted to attack Father's Day and all that bullshit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. So, Jeff, get that video going, please. Trash these SJW fucks. I'm pretty sure you're going to get a bunch of them keyboard warriors showing up for that video, as well as the one with the What's Wrong With, because I know you're going to get their defenders. And I know especially a few critics that you're going to bash.
Well, Chris Stuckman is on that list. I can't wait for that. That is going to be a comment section worth reading every day.
Damn it! I was going to try to keep it a surprise. But
I already mentioned it. They've already mentioned it.
They mentioned it on the show.
I know. I was trying to build suspense.
All right, sorry.
Well, whatever. Long story. Basically, that's just it. I got nothing more really to say. Just looking forward to both of those.
Okay, so let's close this one out. I have been your cruise director, Brain Muffin.
Oh, hang on. We got a shill for the show.
We did shill for the show. Well, we'll shill for the show in the. So, in closing, Kendo Slice will shill for the show.
Yes. Support them on Patreon. like they've mentioned before, they're not trying to be those douchebags on YouTube trying to make a career out of it. They have no interest in doing so. They're doing it because they have fun and they enjoy it. So it's by supporting them on Patreon, you're not helping Jeff go out and have steak and lobster for dinner. You're helping Jeff get new equipment and shit for the show. So whatever else you need to run a podcast, things of that nature. And buy a shirt, incarnate-studios.com. And I guess give them your fucking money. I think that's all. That's pretty much it, right?
Links will be in the description below. Yes.
Yes. So that's me. I shilled for them because I like shilling for them guys.
LMP, you're up.
Well, I cannot stop looking at Kelly Brook for some reason. God damn, this woman's gorgeous.
Yep.
I know.
Yeah. 5'6". She's short.
Buy the
too.
goddamn T-shirt. Sorry, I'm just staring at her like, damn.
A link to Kelly Brook and her pictures will not be in the description below, but Google it.
It will be in the comments section because I will go put it there.
God damn it, we need another fappening and fast.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't need a fappening for Kelly Brook.
Yeah.
She's got plenty of shit pictures on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm doing as soon as we're done.
Yeah, they're all over the place. She likes getting them out.
All right, man. So, like I said, I've been your friendly neighborhood cruise director, and we will see you next time. Peace.